The Sphere Finance is a time bomb. This project can be the father of all DeFi in the new era. That has so much potentials. It has the right team, right moderators, right community, and the right economics. But not only that, the level of professionalism and delivery on time, all that stuff, just shows me that this project is worth you paying attention to. Now, I'm not going to talk about the project in details because it's going to take forever. And second part, I want you to do your own research. I'm going to give you glimpses here and there, but I want you to do your own research. Please, this is DeFi inside the crypto world. This is very volatile. Everything is volatile. But why Sphere Finance is worth paying attention to is the level of details that the founders are paying attention to. So what are they solving is one thing. What are they bringing is another thing. And the little things that actually makes this project insanely hyped. Now, the Sphere Finance, if you guys remember DeFi projects back in December, if you were part of it, I'm sure it's not a good memory, but let's explain exactly what happened there and how is Sphere just fitting in to solve these issues. So the first thing, or the first problem was Olympus DAO was an inflationary protocol. So people or investors or founders were copying that fork and started popping projects left and right. So Wonderland was the most successful, at least back then, and it attracted a lot of money. There was about $2 billion plus locked into that protocol. But people were looking at it like, you know what? I can do better than Wonderland. What's so hard about it? He just copied the Olympus DAO. So they started either copying the Olympus or Wonderland's contract. And they started popping left and right. Now, here's the first issue. The first thing is people were copying the smart contract, not knowing what the protocol is capable of. What can it do? How much can it handle? So they were just enjoying that they can, start a website and give all these crazy APYs. Now, for them to suck liquidity from Wonderland, they would offer crazy APYs. Instead of 90,000%, they would offer 1 million. Then the new one would offer 10 million. Then next one, 1 trillion, and on and on. So that started to attract people or investors from Wonderland to come over to these new protocols because one thing, they were all under the Avalanche network. So for you, it was just, if you had Wonderland, you will unstake it, you swap it for AVAX, you go to the new protocol, you swap it for the new token, and you get these nice percentages. But then this game started to get saturated. The new game that started was the 5-day ROI. So Wonderland was offering 7%. The new protocols with the crazy APYs was not attractive. So they played within the 5 or 7% thing to increase it to 14%, then 20%, then Project C will come, give 40%, then 80%, then they went all the way to 320% 5-day ROI. Now, this is when you are copying a protocol, not knowing the impact of what you're doing on your own treasury. And that's what caused the whole bloody bath. That's one thing. So first thing, they were all in the Avalanche network, which means they were all competing against who's going to suck the most liquidity from the other. So people that was getting 20% from Project B and he sees Project C offering 80%, for you to go from B to C was easy 3-4 clicks with nothing that can hurt you. And that's the second thing. So the first thing, they were all under the Avalanche network. The second part was there's nothing can stop you. You will not get punished for doing so. And that's why they introduced this the tax system. So there is a percentage for you to buy in, 13%. And there's, once you want to sell, 20% at the moment. It might go to 25 if the people vote for it. So now these taxes will help a little bit for the sustainability. Now, the second measurement they took is, just like Midas, for example, one whale just dumped, I think, 15 or 20% of the overall tokens, which crashed and caused the panic and FUD in the Midas network. So here they're saying, you know what, if you're a whale, we're going to tax you harsh depending on how much percentage you have of the total liquidity, which makes sense to protect the protocol. They're not saying you cannot take or skim profits, but they're saying, hey, if you grow to 15%, we're going to tax you hard if you want to sell all of it, because you're going to just hurt the protocol. So you have to read the dynamic to understand it better if you're aware. Now, these three issues were all solved in the Sphere Finance. So there's tax bracket, there's a dynamic sales taxes, and it's not built on the Avalanche network. It is on Polygon. And it gets interesting right after this, which I'm going to talk the game of the Polygon. Now, the fourth problem that these guys were doing were they're just copying these forks, like we said, and they're not knowing what the hell they are running. Here, with Sim and his team, they were looking at all these protocols. Like, they looked at Olympus, they looked at Titano, they looked at all these projects, and they said, hey, we like Titano. It seems to stand out, but we're not going to copy it. We're going to take the best of the stuff inside Titano, and we'll try to fix the problems that Titano is facing, Olympus, whatever, and we're going to build our own smart contract. So this feels like Titano, but it is not a Titano fork. It is built from the scratch or from the ground up. Why is this important? Because first of all, you know that they have the team to build such a crazy project. Second of all, once they face issues or they want to fix stuff, they don't have to go and fetch for developers to try to fix something they had not built. If they built it, they know how to fix it. So that's another big advantage. Now let's talk about the Polygon, which it's going to be interesting. Now, if you build this project inside Avalanche, what you're going to do is actually compete with those DAS project, node project that are popping every day, and you're going to get that liquidity just to start up, and it will stop right there. It's happening with all DAS projects. Once you reach a level, it's really hard to bypass that, or at least it will slow your growth. Now, going into Polygon, first of all, I've seen it, like a lot of people from Avalanche are coming to the Polygon. There is a learning curve, but they're looking at this and they like it. That's one thing. So we're sucking liquidity from Avalanche. Second part, we are inside the Polygon's ecosystem. So we're attracting new faces from the Polygon network. So that's the second part, which it gets more interesting, trust me. So now we have people from Avalanche coming and we have people from Polygon coming. But they're like, you know what? There is something called the Polygon Alliance, which I recommend that you watch the AMA done by Austin Clark, or the sim if you have 4 hours and a half to watch it. Because this is just going crazy, because the Polygon Alliance actually have funds for projects that are starting up on the Polygon. And these funds are going to be utilized to fund the treasury and makes the sustainability is more secured, which is obviously insane. So that's the third part. But they did not stop right here. They're like, you know what? This is all good, but we have the Binance Smart Chain. It has probably the second biggest liquidity after Ethereum. So how come we just can't bring them over? You know, right now we're taking advantage of the Polygon Alliance, and we are targeting the Avalanche people out there. They're just crazy about nodes and the NAS and DAS and all that stuff. So they're going to come over because this is something that's better than anything that has ever been made. So we're going to get that liquidity. But now we have Binance sitting out there, and we want them to come over as well, because that's where the big liquidity is. So they're introducing something called the Dyson. So it's not the vacuum, but it looks like it's going to be a vacuum, because what they're doing is they're going to allow the movement or the migration from the BSC to the Polygon in an easy 3 steps. That will be covered in the AMA, so I advise you to listen to that to understand it even better. But we're talking about sustainability and getting fresh money into the protocol. So all of this is just the beginning of this project. Now, why do I like him so much? First of all, when I came into this project a month ago, me as an investor, I want to see what I'm investing in. I want to see what type of founders and moderators are there. Are they capable of controlling FUD? Are they capable of reacting to improving this project? What kind of mentality they have? What professional level they have? And I'll be frank with you, when I heard Sim the first time on his AMA, I can sense his voice was a bit worried. He was not, kind of relaxed. And that's before the pre-sale, before the whitelist, before anything else. And one thing that I was paying attention to, that if you talk about any previous project, he would love to hear from you the goods and bads of that project. What happened to that project? Well, how did they solve that issue? How did they overcome that problem? And the reason was he's paying attention because while he's listening to you, he wants to take that lesson and sees how it can fit inside Sphere, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to perfect this. And whenever you talk about something, he would listen and he would, kind of tries to understand more to just make it more perfect. And whenever he reached that point where it becomes perfect, he's not happy. He wants to even make it more perfect. And that's why he started introducing the SIPs. So SIPs are the Sphere improvement processes. So he introduced 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and today he introduced number 5. And the SIPs it's saying, hey, my protocol is not perfect, but it's flexible enough to adapt to whatever changes we might face. So it's all about anti-whales. It's all about whatever that might happen that can cause any issues. And he doesn't want issues to happen. He doesn't like to leave any loose ends whatsoever. I mean, the pre-sale went perfect. The public sale went perfect. Everything is going not only perfect, not only on time. They're delivering like a rocket. They deliver every day. I mean, I've seen NFT projects, other DeFi projects, they're talking about games coming Q4, games coming 2023. No, go watch the AMA, go watch the announcement. Things are moving too fast. And that tells me another thing, that they have invested the time and the money before launching this project, which tells me one thing, is they are serious about this project to become the #1 DeFi project. And I believe, because of all the things that I've mentioned, they are capable of doing that. Now, the potentials is one thing. The capability of adapting is one big thing. Being professional and having the right team to build this. They have built this from scratch. That means they can fix whatever they're going to face. They can adapt to whatever they face. They have delivered. They have invested the time and the money. And therefore, I believe this project, although it has gone up in price, but still the potentials are high, especially once that sucking the liquidity from Binance. I think, what else can you ask for? The game will actually create some sustainability to the treasury. And the one thing that I believe that's even more important, I'm going to see probably a lot of forks of the Sphere finance in the future. And would it cause the same issues back like in December? Would they come copy this Sphere and they offer you 3% ROI? Let them do that, because it's not about copying and not knowing how to run it. They are delivering and over delivering. So if you come and copy this and thinking, you know what, I can do it, I don't think you're going to be as fast as these guys. You're not going to be as professional as these guys. And the one thing that I need to address here, the market cap here is still at $15 million or $18 million. So if this goes anywhere next to Titano, which is around $223 million, we're talking about nice 15x, 17x. I hope so. These are just predictions. I don't like to talk about the future, but I see the potentials here are insane. So if you guys want to give it a try, go check the Discord, read the papers, give yourself some time to understand how the protocol works, get to know the founders and the moderators, and then you decide, because it's your money. I'm not here to give you a financial advice, because this is my own journey. I did cover it when it was at pre-whitelist. So if you jumped at that moment, I'm sure you're sitting at some nice gains right now. Also, I hope that you guys pay attention. Don't FOMO in like crazy with $20,000, $100,000. Make sure that you invest something you're willing to lose. This is the DeFi game inside crypto, and you have to be cautious and make sure you take your initial investments once you jump in. That's all I can say on Sphere. I am betting hard on this project because I wish I can find one issue with this project. Even if I find that issue, I will discuss it with the founders, and if they think it is worth considering, they will fix it. And that's what I like. I like when I say, hey, you guys are doing this is like wrong way. I think if you guys do it the other way, they would listen to you to begin with, and listen to me and the rest. And therefore, the adaptation is insanely important, and listening actually is also important. I've seen some other protocols, when you tell them something, they're so arrogant. They think, no, we have built this, and you're not going to ruin our lives by suggesting something. So please go join and tell me what you guys think about this project. I believe this is the new DeFi project that everybody will be copying left and right. Again, think about the whole picture. Being in Polygon, sucking the liquidity from Avalanche, then the Binance, then we have the Dyson, the adaptation. It's all good. I love it. Thank you, Sphere. Thank you, Sim. Thank the moderators. This is just the start of this project. Take care, and we'll see you on the next video.